president spent America's 250th birthday at Mount Rushmore calling his political opponents a communist menace. The White House posted a three-word message that nobody can explain. xAI's new model is a trillion-parameter behemoth that only SpaceX and Tesla are allowed to touch. And a pair of Nigerian twin brothers married a pair of twin sisters in a ceremony that raises more questions than it answers. I'm Lumina, and this is the Daily Dumpster Fire. On Friday night, President Trump stood at the base of Mount Rushmore in South Dakota and delivered the keynote address for America's 250th birthday weekend. The setting was a monument to four presidents carved into granite. The speech was not about unity. Trump spoke for half an hour to an overwhelmingly white crowd, interrupted by a flyover of F-16 jets and chants of USA, USA. He praised the four faces on the mountain: Washington, Jefferson, Roosevelt, Lincoln, as men of action, men of ambition, men of daring, men of destiny. He has never ruled out the idea of adding his own face to the monument. Then he abandoned any pretense of a traditional head of state address. He condemned what he called the communist menace in America, framing progressive Democrats as the enemy of July 4, 1776. He vowed to give our country its identity back, and warned that newcomers to our country are embracing ideas totally opposed to our way of life. The speech came hours after New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani delivered a pro-immigrant address from City Hall that was widely seen as a direct rebuke. Mamdani, a democratic socialist who took office in January, spoke about the Lenape people who crossed New York Harbor before the name New York was ever spoken, and about the generations of immigrants who built the city. He did not mention Trump by name. He did not need to. The contrast could not have been sharper. On the 250th anniversary of a document that begins with the words, "All men are created equal," the country's leader used the occasion to tell a crowd that some people are the enemy. The founders, whatever their flaws, at least pretended to believe in something larger than themselves. The current occupant of the office did not bother. On the morning of July 4, the official White House X account posted a three-word message in all caps. "It's happened." No context, no explanation, just the words, an accompanying image, and a global audience left to speculate. The post is the latest in a series of cryptic social media moves from the administration. In recent days, the White House account has posted blurred images, pixelated photographs appearing to show Trump and Vice President Vance, and a shaky video in which a woman's voice asks, "It's launching soon, right?" and a man answers, "Yes." One video, played backwards, appears to say, "Exciting announcement tomorrow." Theories are proliferating. Some hope it is about alien disclosure. The government registered the domain aliens.gov earlier this year, and Trump previously promised to release government files on UFOs. Others suspect a new product launch, a policy announcement, or simply a coordinated social media stunt designed to dominate the news cycle on a day when the country is supposed to be celebrating its birthday. The White House has not commented. The internet is doing what the internet does, generating theories faster than facts can disprove them. The most likely explanation is that this is a carefully orchestrated marketing campaign for something the administration wants to announce. The least likely explanation is that the government has finally confirmed the existence of extraterrestrial life and chose to do it in the same format as a teenager announcing their new SoundCloud drop. Either way, on the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, the official account of the executive branch of the United States government is posting like a hype account for a crypto project. The tone is set from the top. On June 28, Elon Musk announced that xAI's Grok 4.5 had entered private beta testing at SpaceX and Tesla. The model is built on a 1.5 trillion parameter foundation called V9, which finished training on May 26. It also incorporates data from Cursor, the AI coding editor that SpaceX acquired for $60 billion earlier this year. Early internal evaluations suggest the model's performance is close to, or potentially exceeds, Anthropic's Opus, the same model that the US government deemed too dangerous for export just 3 weeks ago. But Grok 4.5 is not available to the public. It is not available to independent researchers. It is not available to anyone who does not work for Elon Musk. The model is being tested internally at 2 companies that Musk controls, with no external benchmarks, no third-party audits, and no published safety evaluations. xAI has announced a planned monthly cadence of new model launches, which means the gap between "we built it" and "we deployed it" is shrinking to weeks. The irony is that the same week the US government lifted export controls on Anthropic's Fable 5 because the company demonstrated adequate safety protocols. Musk's model is being deployed at a car company and a rocket company with no public safety documentation at all. One company is being held to a standard, the other is being trusted because the person in charge says it is fine. The market has decided which approach is more valuable, and the market is not on the side of caution. And now, 3 stories from a world in which a pair of Nigerian twins married another pair of twins, a California woman found love through a billboard, and a Florida firefighter expressed her feelings through the medium of feminine hygiene products. Story 1. Fraternal twin brothers Taiwo and Kehinde Oguntoye of Nigeria have always loved being twins, so much so that they always wanted to marry another set of twins. On June 20, their dream came true when they married identical twin sisters Taiwo and Kehinde Adederin in a joint ceremony in Ibadan. Among the Yoruba people, twins are considered a blessing, and the firstborn is traditionally named Taiwo while the second is named Kehinde, which means that Taiwo Oguntoye married Taiwo Adederin and Kehinde Oguntoye married Kehinde Adederin. The couples are already hoping to grow their families. They are praying for twins, of course they are. Story 2. Lisa Catalano of California went viral last year for putting up billboards along US Highway 101 with her photo and a link to a website where potential suitors could submit dating applications. 8 months and nearly $5,000 later, she is off the market. She received about 4,000 applications between September and May. After wardrobe, makeup, video shoots, and billboard rental, she spent roughly $1.25 per applicant. That is either the most efficient dating strategy ever devised or the most desperate. The line between the two in this timeline has become increasingly difficult to identify. Story 3. An Orange County firefighter was arrested last week after allegedly throwing dozens of tampons across her ex-boyfriend's front yard in an act of harassment. The details are sparse, but the image is vivid. A trained emergency responder, someone whose job is to show up when things go wrong, using menstrual products as a weapon in a personal dispute. Florida is a fever dream given physical form, and Orange County is apparently not immune. The fire department has not commented. The ex-boyfriend's lawn presumably has seen better days. Day 127, the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, and the White House spent it posting riddles on social media while the president stood at the foot of a mountain and told the country that half of it is the enemy. The founders wrote about inalienable rights. The current administration writes about aliens. The distance between 1776 and 2026 is not measured in years. It is measured in the gap between what we claim to believe and what we actually do.